This video is for any GCSE Computer Science students who are following along with my NAMELAND Python design and coding tutorial. One of the first things that you will need to do in any programming task is read the scenario and then think about that in a little bit more detail, think about the programming challenges and try and give yourself a structure to know what to do next. If you're not familiar with the task, then you won't be able to make any progress at all. I've summed up some key points here. And let's have a quick look at those. So you're going to demonstrate that you've read the scenario. That's important. You need to identify some of the challenges or tasks that you will need to complete. And then hopefully that's going to give you some structure for your coding tasks. Now, it's quite important for you to understand that if you were just to copy and paste the scenario without reading it, that's not going to be of any use to you, and nor is it actually going to show that you are familiar with the task. So you do need to do it a little bit more than that. Now, many students struggle to know how to word their analysis. So my recommendation here is just try to explain it like you were going to explain it to a friend or a teacher or whoever. You don't need to get too technical, and you definitely don't need to explain how you're going to do the programming. What I would like you to do, though, is to break the problem down in smaller parts. We call that decomposition. Just focus on the important details within the scenario. So you don't have to consider everything that's in the scenario, because often they include quite a lot of fluff. You want to focus on the important stuff. And by all means, you can copy and paste some useful text from the scenario, but make sure that you are including some analysis yourself. If you don't know how you're going to store a database of names, then you could always say, I will need to store a database of names. Don't yet know how to do that. I'm going to need to investigate that. That would be fine. At least it shows that you're thinking about this in a little bit more depth. You can either print this page off, or you can do like I'm going to do, just use the snipping tool. And then you can just get your highlighter out and then highlight things that are important, like we know we're going to need to store a database of names. So if you have a look here, you need a program to store a database of names. That seems to be highly relevant. So I will design and create a program that can store a database of people's names that can be loaded from a text file. Well, that information came from down there. There doesn't appear to be any requirement for editing or saving back. Saving data back to the file, so data could be opened read-only. Now, you won't actually find that anywhere in this scenario, so this is part of my analysis. So, this is almost copy and pasting, isn't it? But this is now part of my analysis. So whenever not whenever, but if you can, when you've copied and pasted or maybe slightly reworded something, do, if you can, see if you can analyze it. What's the implications? What might I do? What might I need to learn about? Whatever it happens to be that you feel that you could write in terms of a further analysis, then have a go. Next bit, my user finds it difficult to remember names, and so the program should include helpful features, including searching and sorting. Yeah, okay. So I gave a little bit of context there. Due to technology constraints, the user interface will have to be simple. That came from there. Possibly a text-based menu system. So once again, there's no mention of a text-based menu system, but that is part of my analysis. And I'm saying possibly, not definitely. So keep your options open at this stage. But if you have some idea, or maybe if you don't know what a basic user interface might include, then you could state, there is a requirement for a basic user interface. I'm not too sure what that means at the moment, so that will be part of my early research. They haven't said about, what type of search. So is it, for example, going to be exact match? So let's say if you typed Joe, would it also return Joseph or any other name that might have the letters J-O in that order in it? And also talking about order, sorting, sorting, order, ascending, descending, it's not mentioned. So I go into a little bit more detail in this paragraph about the ambiguity of that and the implications of that. And then finally, when the program closes, there should be a friendly goodbye message. So that's that thing down there. If you've already written your own analysis of the problem and you want to update it, then by all means, okay? If you feel that I've put something in that definitely left out and really should have, then put it in. If I just put something in which isn't absolutely critical and you think that you don't really need to have it in, then absolutely fine. You don't have to put it in. This is not like an exact description of what you should have for your analysis. It's just an example, and it's quite possibly no better than yours either.